Majo, John, Mad, and Juanito sitting in the doorway of my tiny house. I think it's about 3 in the afternoon on April Fool's Day, isn't it? No, that was yesterday. Oh, fuck. It's April 2nd. April 2nd is Tuesday. Yeah, good. I got that. So, about being practical, about being able to manage the physical universe. I want to tell some stories about how terrible I used to be at that and how I like to say that some people, angels in my life, have been courageous enough to jump in my shit and give me very painful feedback that I absolutely needed to hear. And this thing about not being skilled in the world was really a terrible part of my life. My dad had been an installer for the phone company, very technical. He was super handy, but he never taught us because he was withdrawn into alcohol. So I carried so much trauma around that I think I just decided that's all right. I'll be an intellectual. I'll just be a thinker. So I pretty much had a stance of I don't do anything. I don't do anything practical. I never learned to cook, and my son would always harangue me because his mom was a great cook and she encouraged him to be in the kitchen. And my Irish mom was a terrible cook and never had us in the kitchen. And so Terry would always say, Dad, you have to learn how to cook. Take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself is a big theme in my life, too. And I was with one person who loved me and was competitive and kind of a little rough with her style, Gretchen, my friend Gretchen. And I was helping her cook one day. We were chopping vegetables and we were talking about cooking. And I was honest about that I just don't cook. And she looked at me and said, it must be hard to not know how to feed yourself. That's pretty bracing. To be in, I guess then I was in my 60s. Don't know how to feed myself. That was rough. But important. Ginny Levi was a roommate of mine in Asheville after that. And we had been roommates with Linda Siegel. And the three of us together were a pretty good match. They were very close friends. But then when Linda had to sell the house, Ginny and I decided to become roommates together. And we discovered then it was just one-on-one. She was pretty abusive to men. She was genuinely abusive. And it was not out of kindness the day she said to me, could you please, I'm sorry, I forgot you can't do anything. And she meant it. And it was pretty true. I just didn't do anything. So my 5 years on the road in a camper van, I never sat at a computer anymore. If I was doing computing, I was walking down the country road talking into my phone. And my old vans, I got pretty skilled at fixing those vans. It's very old vans with electrical problems. And in Appalachia, I learned the way to bond with Appalachian men was leaning over one of your trucks, figuring out why the electricity wasn't working. And everybody had their own theory. And it was a lot of fun. And I learned a lot about the electrical system in those things. And actually, sometimes I had some great experiences of working with another man to get either of those cars going. It could be very exciting. In the shadow of the Superdome, the Super Bowl was just in the Superdome. It's some big game, Superdome in New Orleans. My car was broken down under the highway right next to the Superdome for several days. And this buddy from church came over to help me get my car started. And it was pregame, and there were music blaring everywhere. And he's yelling, no, not so much gas, you're going to flood it. No, I know my car. It never floods. And that was true. I just have to keep giving you gas. But we worked together, and it was so much fun, guy on guy, so exciting. So I've gotten really dramatically more handy. And what brought it up right now is I'm old, and I'm weak right now because I'm quite sick. Mexicans carry these big, because the water, I do drink the water, and I've had big fights with other expats about never drink the water. And I said, I've been doing it for 2 years, man. I had a little GI problems at first, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't. It just tastes like shit. So it is better. But the strong Mexicans, and even women, and even teenagers will throw that up on their shoulder and take it home from the store. I don't do that. I do the smaller one, but I do it just exactly the same way. And I was walking down my road one day, and I heard this little girl say to her mom in Spanish, he thinks he's Mexican. Look at that gringo thinks he's Mexican. So it's a lot of fun. And I just was doing that, even though I'm pretty weak today, transferring water from there into other things, because the water from the tap sucks. So I'm much more practical. Now, where was I going with that? I teach about this. I teach if you want to change yourself spiritually, do something physically you didn't know how to do. You didn't know how to do, and that's really good. My friend Lisa Childs and I in Chicago were trying to get my old car started, and I had learned how to squirt starter fluid into the carburetor or into the air hose, I guess. My second car, we didn't do that, but I did it a lot. And she says, "Is this safe?" Yeah, it says on the can you could cause a fire, but no, I just spray a lot of it in there. So I set my car on fire. There was a little pop, and all of a sudden there were flames shooting out of the engine, and that engine could have exploded. But Lisa's instinct was the same as mine, move towards the fire, away from it, and we were just throwing everything we could on it, and we did put it out, and that was a bonding thing between us. So do the, and then there's a story in Tampico where I had to bring a big gas can, not 5-gallon gas can. It was liters, and it was heavier than that. It was so heavy that I could not carry it up to the street from down in the gas station, and the young kid had to do it for me. And yes, oh, that is a beautiful rock. Thank you, baby. This dog is so stupid, but she loves me so much, and she wants to present things to me. And I have to hide my catheter bag because she will grab it and scoop it up and bite a hole in it and say, "Dad, look what I got for you." Yeah, you are the best dog. What a smart dog. And I have to be sweet to them because when I was in so much pain a couple of days ago, if they came anywhere near me, I would scream at them for fear they would jump on my catheter bag. Uh, yeah. So, yeah, that big heavy gas can. I said, let's see, it's a half a mile back to the car. Well, I'll just get a cab. Well, it was rush hour, and the cabs all had 3 or 4 people in them, and they would take on a fifth person, but not a person with a big gas can and a big dog. So that wasn't going to happen. So I said, okay, well, I'll carry it home. Well, how are you going to do that? You can't even lift it. And I made a game of it. And I'd say, I'm having fun. This is a riot. And I would sing songs, and each time I would carry it a few feet more. And damn it, I carried it a half a mile and got it back to the car. And it was transformative. That night I was so high, like, wow, I can do things I didn't think I could do. And it's really amazing. It really is amazing. There's hazards. You might set your car on fire. But it's a good story, isn't it? It's a good story. Okay, I think there was a point beyond that, but I I lost it. I think there was a point beyond that. Well, the main point was the angels who give you rough feedback. Sometimes they do it out of love because they know you and they just know you need to know this. And other times they're being an asshole, or they're just being a little mean, or they're being very mean. But it's still something you need to know. It's still something, and sometimes it takes an awful long time for me to get the message. But then I go, she said that, and she said that. Yeah, you actually have to learn how to do things, man. Oh, and 5 years on the road, I did become a cook, and I would brag about that. Yes, I don't have any heat source. I don't even have a hot plate here, but in the camper van, I've learned I have several kinds of mustard and things, and if I combine, and I'll get all the canned foods from the store, and let's see, a little bit of this Progresso soup, and then we put a little bit of these beans. I think it needs a little bit of that hot mustard. So that's like cooking, right? It's I'm a sous chef, right? The people will sue me. The people I cook for will sue me, so I'm a sous chef. All right, bye.